to one more marquee matchup of the week before we get into our best bets of the weekend. Number 3, Miami, laying 4.5, headed to Tallahassee. Number 18, FSU, moved down to 18 again after that overtime loss to UVA. I was watching that game with Danny Cannell and Jordan Giorgio, two of our Florida State alum. Not good vibes in that room. As someone who just roots for chaos, I was in the corner like, oh my God, this is so fun, but I felt bad for them. Nonetheless, obviously a spot to bounce back for this team. Both teams 3-1 against the spread so far this season. FSU versus top 3 teams. They're 0-4 against the spread, 0-4 straight up in their last 4 here. Obviously, we want to tell ourselves we're looking at a different Florida State team here. So do you think they have a chance here at home?
They do. And here's the reason why. Thomas Castellanos gives them a chance because he's so spontaneous in his athleticism to where you can't really game plan for him. And so you may have the perfect defense call that he's able to scramble out and find a way to make a way. The difference, though, is that this Hurricane defense is legitimate, strong on both edges. They can rush with power. They can rush with finesse. They can rush with technique and speed. So they'll find a way to keep him contained more so than not. And earlier in the week, I have to keep referencing this because people love to dive into the comments and be like, well, you said this earlier in the week on the show. Yes, because the number changed. This was 6.5 for Miami earlier in the week, and I took Florida State plus the points. Now it's down to a more manageable where I think it's going to end up 4.5, maybe even 3.5 in some spots. The reason why I like this number, because it will be a closer game, but I trust Miami's defense at this spot with 4.5 points to lay the number with the Hurricanes. It's not even about the Hurricane offense because Florida State's defense will be able to get after the quarterback and will find some success. But Miami's defense will be able to turn the ball over. They will put these guys in backed up situations enough to where Carson Beck and company can find some drives, find some points enough to cover. So I'll lay the 4.5 with Miami.
Just laying the smart numbers here. That's what we do on this show. Sometimes it's about the spread. I did hear that our good friend Mike McClure has entered the group chat. Mike, welcome back from the trailer, from what I believe. I'm so sorry we didn't get to hear you before. We were giving out your picks for you, but I will let you speak for yourself on this Miami FSU game.
Yeah, look, I thought the number where it opened was more appropriate. 6.5 is where I would set the line here. At 4.5, I'm going to be on the Miami side, and a lot of it is what Emory had to say. Miami, good offense. Carson Beck has looked pretty good so far. It's the defense, though. Out of every little metric you look at, every aspect of the game, Miami has got it on the defensive side of the ball, which helps the offense a ton when you're talking about average starting field position and just giving the other team no break in terms of the defense, right? So when I look at this particular setup, it's a tough environment. It's going to be a tough environment. I think Florida State, though, is a little propped up still on that big win over Alabama. Was it impressive in the moment? Yes, absolutely. But I think it was just a bad week for Alabama, more so than anything else. So I make Miami the better team here. I made the line 6 personally, would lay it at 4.5.
Right. Sometimes it's about that key numbers. Again, opens up at 6.5, now down to 4.5, makes it a lot more digestible to take Miami and the points. Tom is on the over in this game. Can't say I don't agree there. You have FSU who leads everyone in points per game and yards per game here. I'm going to take a little bit of a player prop angle, guys. So strap in for this. Tommy Castellanos, interception. Okay? I think this is a game. He's had 3 in his past 2 games here. You look at similar quarterbacks who have played this Miami team, 6-1 to the over when it comes to interceptions. And you look at his first start against Miami when he was with Boston College, he threw a couple of interceptions too. So we're getting a pretty solid price on this depending where you shop around. Should be around even money if it's available to you there. But I think we're due for a little bit of an interception. I think the trenches are going to be a war zone, going to be a lot of pressure that you're seeing here. So little player prop to add to your card